admire them more than God.
Yeah, but the reason being, because that's why he told you, he repeatedly told us in our law, do not be like these people.
Right.
And he wasn't talking about just Caucasians.
Separate.
He was talking about all of them. Because like, you know, Hebrews love to talk about, Hebrew Israelites love to talk about how Caucasians was the first system. No, but them African people been playing that Buddha hole long before you ran across the white man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Them Egyptians love Buddha. You know what I'm saying? There's Egyptian hieroglyphs of them trying to give fellatio to their own self. You know you got to be sick trying to put your own penis in your mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And your God is gay.
Yeah.
Because Horus like Buddha.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So guess what it's going to end up at? I'm mentioning that there. Those were people of color though. Them wasn't Caucasian. This is why I was telling y'all last night when we came up out of Egypt, all we knew was Egypt. That's all you knew.
Yeah.
So then when you coming out the wilderness, he like to say, I got to humble you, I got to suffer you to hunger, I got to walk you through here, because you can't come in here thinking like these faggots and idolaters you just left from.
Game wholesale law.
You know what I'm saying? I can't let you think that way. So now when we sit here in America, America is all we know. That's all you know. You know what I'm saying?
Washington is great.
So while you trying to get ready to enter into a kingdom, guess what he got to do? I got to separate you from the American mind state, the European mind state. You look at everything from a European perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't supposed to look at stuff from a European perspective because they don't operate how we operate. They don't move how we move. They are singular people. We are a collective people. Our people ain't never rolled dolo. You know what I'm saying? We moved as a group. Why you think the book always say congregation? Congregation, body, body, body. You don't read about no, oh, it's just me. It's just me. It's just me. That singular stuff, that Caucasian stuff, that's not our stuff. When you sit back and you read Daniel chapter 9, when he was praying, he didn't say, I sinned. He said, we all did it. We all did it. Even when you go back to slave time, that's when they broke us up out of it, because he said, we sick, boss. We. It was always we. It wasn't never me and I. You know what I'm saying? We done came over here and got I. Even when people say there's no I in team, I bet you lie, because all y'all think about is I. That's all the Americans think about. They don't think about the whole. Get up by your bootstraps and all this here. That ain't no American, even though it's an African proverb, it take a village to raise a child. That don't come from Caucasian. They don't think like that. We do though. You know what I'm saying? What he always told you to do? Take them to the congregation. If they won't hear one, take them to everybody. Do this here so everybody will know. Because we are a group, a collective. That's the Abrim way, that's the Hebrew way. Babylonians don't think that way. They are confused people. So guess what that end up gotten us to be? A confused people. That's why he say Elohim not the author of confusion. That's why he tell us to come from up out of these people. Stop being Babel. Stop being Babylon and being confused. Because all they done did is confuse everything.
Yeah.
They done told you down is up, left is right. You know what I'm talking about?
Cold is hot.
All that there. Got your whole, just like we gonna read it in the book in a minute. They done told you good is evil and evil is good. They told you the man, these people done told you this man instructions is evil. These people say, boy, his law done away with. You can't keep that stuff for all intents and purposes. Even though they're not saying it, they are saying it. That's evil. That's evil.
Trying to thirst you away from God.
You know what I'm saying? He told you right there, he said they declared a sin like Sodom, they ain't ashamed. Well, these people ain't even ashamed to do. We ain't got no shame no more. I just use something simple. When I was young, boy, people been ashamed to talk about they committed oral sex on a man or a woman. Ain't nobody want to be proud to admit that. Now these boys talking about I eat Buddha like groceries.
Yeah. You got a guy out here proud.
You know what I'm saying? These niggas ain't even ashamed to sit back and walk around here. Boy, I seen a video the other day, had me dying laughing. It was two I said the two dudes fight, but they were dressed up like women. That nigga said, let my hair go. He wouldn't hit that nigga. He said, oh, shit, let my hair go. You know what I'm saying? But I seen that in the county one time. Nigga was messing with a dude. He said messing with him. He said, all right, nigga. I knocked you out. The man came outside.
Yeah,
I'm tripping.
It's a man all the time.
You know what I'm saying? Like they said, you trying to pretend like you was a woman, but like you said, you a man the whole time.
Yeah.
You push like this. I remember being in prison. Old punk was passing out something. And nigga said, Brett Favre gonna jump there. I said, why? Nigga, what happened to all that soft talking you be doing, nigga? Yeah. Now all of a sudden, nigga, you got bass in your voice because you know you crazy. People not ashamed to shack up. People not ashamed to fornicate. They're not ashamed to commit adultery. Not ashamed to lie. Not ashamed to steal. Not ashamed to do nothing.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Why is that like that? Because the Gentile make you feel like that. He got to forgive you anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Free.
He say, boy, you free.
Yeah.
They said it. You know that's what they teach. They got to forgive you anyway. But the Most High ain't got to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? All he got to do is stay Kadesh and live. Not stay black and die. All he got to do is stay sanctified and live. That's all he got to do.
Amen.
You know what I'm talking about? He ain't got to do nothing. He ain't got to save you. He ain't got to give you no word. He ain't got to do nothing. He could just sit back on his throne and say, I can let all of them die. start all over again if that's what I want to do. But we know he ain't gonna do that. He made a covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So he gonna show mercy on those descendants. And then on top of that, he gonna show mercy on all those outside of his people who believe his word and walk in it. You know what I'm talking about? So that's how we sit back and look at it. You looking at an Elohim so powerful, I can wipe all y'all out and start all over again. But because I'm merciful, I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna give you a chance to get it right. So then how we gonna turn around and not be merciful to somebody who did us wrong and give him a chance to get it right? You know what I'm saying? If you gonna become like Elohim, you gotta become like Elohim. You can't be no Gentile. Gentiles don't forgive. You know what I'm talking about? They don't forgive. Or if they forgive, they sit back and looking at, they waiting on you to snake them. So they can turn back around and say, I knew you were like that, bearing the grudge. We not like that. Elohim say, boy, I blot out your transgressions with a thick cloud. I'll remember them no more. So if somebody come to you and say, I repent, that man said, if your brother trespass against you, forgive him 70 times 7. So that means every time he come and say, you know what, I was wrong, forgive him. Ain't no all that there, I won't forgive you, I won't mess with you no more. Ain't no none of that. That's not the way of Yahuwah. That's not what he taught you. The reason being, because when you trespass against him, you want him to forgive you and not remember it as well. So if you can't do that to somebody you seen, ain't no way in the world y'all gonna do it for you. That's incorrect judgment. Gotta judge properly, right? Gotta judge it right then. You gotta judge it right then. You know what I'm saying? You gotta judge it right. Like we know America gonna be condemned, but if you doing the same thing she doing, you getting what she get. You know what I'm saying? Niggas just think because they know they Yahusha, they know they ears or they straight. What we were talking about last night. Okay, you got the lighter matters of the law down pat. Don't eat no swine. Don't eat no shrimp. But the weightier matters, the faith, the actual trusting and walking in Yahuwah and believing that he can do all things. The actual having mercy, the actual judgment. Because judgment didn't mean right ruling, making the right decision. You make the right decision based off what the man told you to do. If you can't even do them things, that lighter stuff don't mean nothing. Them Shabbats you keep it don't mean nothing. Them feast days you keep it don't mean nothing. Because you still in the flesh. You can't even judge right. You can't even have mercy. You know what I'm talking about? I can remember, man, I was at a church, man. Dude wanted us to come around there. We were supposed to try to hit him with some word, but it didn't happen. And it was a dude who came up out of there, he had just got out of the hospital out of diabetic coma or something along them lines. And he asking them people for a couple dollars to get something to eat. And the people did just like what the book say, be warm and filled, brother. God be with you. I'm excited to ask you for that, nigga. I'm home. You know what I'm saying? And when me and my people come from up out of there, we ain't got too much of no money in our pocket. And we trying to piece together whatever loose dollars and change and everything we could put together because they're looking at me telling me he hungry. And then after that, we hit him with the word. I'll never get it, bro. Say, boy, a street nigga hear you. But I'm like, you just saying that because we looked out for you. Really? Be honest. But you hungry, though. You know how it's easy to feed somebody who been hungry if you been hungry. If you ain't never been hungry, you don't care. If you been naked, you ain't got no problem, boy. I gonna get your outfit. You know what I'm saying? I get something for you, keep you warm. You got no problem doing it. You know what I'm talking about? But if you ain't never been through that, you're not gonna have that level of compassion. Well, if you've been committing sin and somebody trespass against you, how can you not forgive them? You want y'all to forgive you. You got to sit back and put yourself in the same shoe. You're not owed forgiveness from y'all. It's not that the person owes you forgiveness. It's not all that junk. Forgive them for your own peace. Forgive them because that's the right thing to do. And your law tell you don't bear no grudge or avenge against your neighbor. So he already told you that. But how many people you hear who teach the law actually tell people to do that? It's right there in the law. How many times you read people in the law tell you judge properly? It's right there in the law. We read it last night though. And then we read examples of people who did it though. But why they don't teach that? Y'all remember a while back we were dealing with love your enemy. Everybody wonder where he get that from, right? Oh, see, that's that slave master stuff. And that stuff right there in the law, man. Esau was Jacob's enemy. When Esau came to kill him, he came and hugged him, man, gave him a kiss. Laban was Jacob's enemy. He didn't do nothing to him. He let y'all save him. You know what I'm talking about? Even when we turn around and look at that, and I posted it, but I ain't preached all about it. And I'm going to run it down this afternoon. You look at Proverbs 25, he say, if your enemy hungry, right? Give him some bread, right? Masha say he the living bread. His enemies were hungry. He say, my flesh is bread, eat that. He say, give him drink. He say, my blood is drinking deep. Drink that. He say, boy, when you're doing that, you heaping coals of fire on their head. Come on ahead and get it, because you're going to hell anyway, because your heart ain't right. That's why he said don't drink that cup if you're not right. Unworthy. You understand what I'm telling you? Go ahead and drink it. Man gonna do just like what the Torah say. Just like the instructions say. But you know what he telling you that? Have mercy on your enemy, love your enemy. Why would that man turn around and tell you, if your enemy hunger, give him bread? If he thirsty, give him something to drink. That's where he get it from. You know what I'm talking about? That's where he get it from. But they just think Hamashiach just made something up. Just came up with something new. They ain't come up with something new. People don't know the law. That's why Paul says striving about the law, which they don't even know, neither can affirm. You know what I'm saying? Niggas don't be knowing that book. Why you think we had that, why that went down like that a couple weeks ago? Because they don't know that book. Niggas know simplistic stuff. They need to pick out, they're not just being real. People don't really, the book say, every scribe instructed in the kingdom of Shamaim, right? That means you would have to have some manner of level of skill and ability. You would actually have to know the word. Like when we were talking to your man, and he was like, well, tell me why he said if you look on a woman with lust on your heart, you committed adultery. If you know the word and you a teacher like you say you are, then you would already know that go back to David with Bathsheba. You would already know that. You would know that's where he got it from. Because he looked on that woman with lust in his heart, and what did he end up doing? Sleeping with another man's wife. Because he was around there lusting. If he would have looked at her and turned his head and not stared at her, then guess what would have happened? He wouldn't have laid with her. He wouldn't have laid with her. So you know what that's showing us? It's showing us the ability of how to keep yourself disciplined and save yourself. But niggas just think stuff is just in there for no reason. You know what I'm saying? The man said and did things to show us this is what you ought to do. Here's an example of somebody who did the opposite. Don't do that. See, that makes you sound like that gives you sound judgment. I can make a good decision now. Because I seen the byproduct of the bad decision. That's why he told you the scriptures are written aforetime for our learning. That means I can learn what not to do. You know what I'm saying? These are examples. But we don't look at it that way. We got to sit back and look at it, everything for, we look at, when we look at our forefathers coming out of the wood, that's an example of us what not to do. Hello? That's an example of what not to do. You know what I'm talking about? And then we can look at examples of upright men, unfaithful men, and see the example of what to do. You know what I'm saying? So then you can sit back and look at it and you can balance it out, and guess what you can do? Make a sound judgment and decision. See, that's the mercy of Elohim. He just didn't give you one side of the coin and not give you the other. He gave you both sides of the coin so you can see this is what's going to happen. You don't listen. This is what's going to happen if you listen. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you don't want to listen? Don't worry about it. I'll give you over to your own device. Let you see what your end going to be. He said, possibly, if I see fit, I might turn from that and allow you the chance to come back after you done crashed. And he did that for YAHUSHA many a time. Turned us on over, let us do what we want to do. Go and get taken captive. Our captives been oppressing us. We go to crying out, and guess what happens? People wonder why he don't hear us, because we ain't crying out as a collective people, because you niggas still love doing what you're doing. They still love to see the half-naked women. Niggas still want to smoke a doobie. You know what I'm talking about? They still want to hit the liquor store. They niggas still want to be punks. You know what I'm talking about? Still got hate in their heart, malicious and spiteful. We're sitting here going off on the white man gonna do, and your people is faithless, unbelieving, and disobedient. What that gonna do? What that gonna do? You sit back and look at it. You think anybody out here want to hear about the white man going to hell? But I ain't ate yesterday. You think I want to hear about that? You think I care about that right now? I don't care nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? America gonna be destroyed. You think they want to hear about that? Nigga, it was cold out here last night. You got a blanket. Sit back and ask somebody who going through it, got issues going, whatever the case may be. Like our homeboy, his mama just died. You think he want to hear something about that? I'm grieving right now. You know Isaiah 57 say, you know, it's a good thing for a man to come through, speak a word in due season. You know what I'm talking about? That mean that's somebody give you a word that be able to get you going when you were going through something at that particular time. You can keep on pushing. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to hear all that nonsense. I need to hear something that's gonna make me trust that this man can come through in the clutch like he said he was gonna do. You know what I'm talking about? Something to give me if I'm wrestling with an issue or battling my flesh. That can, you don't say, you know what? I can take that with me. I can keep on fighting and keep on pushing and stand firm. It ain't that hard, boy. Look what YAHUSHA did, or look what this man did. He stood on the word in the midst of adversity. He stood on the word in the midst of temptation. Don't tell me no stupid junk I already know. You know what I'm saying? Cut that off for me. Let's go ahead and pray. Y'all speak up loud enough so he can hear y'all. We will say, all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh, way of YAHUSHA, HaMashiach, our Master and King. You know what I want. You already know what I want. John 5, verse 39. You know what it is. Somebody get me Genesis 6, 9 and 20. John 5, 39 and Genesis 5 and 20. Woo, it's a beautiful day. Little Stanley, give me Isaiah chapter 3. Verse 3. Go ahead, sir.
Search the scriptures.
Do what?
Search the scriptures.
Why is that, master?
For in them ye think you have eternal life,
But what do they do?
and they are they which testify of me.
And what we won't do?
And ye will not come to me that you may have life.
What else?
I receive not honor from men,
What?
but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you.
Oh man, he said, I know you. He said the love of Elohim ain't in you. Since he just said that, right? Hold on. Before we even read that Genesis 9 and 25, go on and get him Exodus 34 and 4. He said, I know the love of Elohim ain't in you. Stanley, before you even read Isaiah 3 and 3, let's look at the law. Let's see what Deuteronomy 7 and 7 say. They'll go first. Exodus 34 and 4. Exodus 34 and 4. Come on with it, man.
It says, and he hewed two tables of stone.
He hewed two tables of stone. He could swing this. I'll make sure that they can. He said they hewed two tables of stone, right? Go ahead.
And Moses rose early in the morning.
He got up early in the morning
and went up to Mount Sinai.
And went up to Sinai.
As Yahuwah had commanded.
As he told him.
And took in his hand the two tables of stone.
And what else?
And Yahuwah descended in the cloud.
He descended what?
Descended in the cloud.
Ain't that the same thing when they covered up that cloud with a Mashiach on that stake? He came down after that, didn't he? And he came down on that cloud, right? Come on, what else he say?
And he stood with them there.
He did what?
He stood with them there and proclaimed the name of Yahuwah.
He proclaimed the name of Yahuwah. And what did he proclaim?
And Yahuwah passed by before him.
And what he proclaimed? What he said?
Yahuwah Elohim, merciful.
What?
Gracious.
Hold on, he what?
Merciful.
And what else is it?
Gracious.
Hold on, stop. You see the first two attributes that he mentioned? Mercy and faith. Before we even go further than you can get it. Ephesians 2 and 7. Y'all just bear with me. I got to deal with it. Y'all already know John 3 and 16, so say, because Elohim so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that none should perish, but they all should have eternal life. So you're not realizing when Mashiach come down from that cloud off that state, he showed those two things, mercy and grace. He proclaimed the name of Yahuwah in his death. Just that simple. Y'all gotta sit back and realize when you get immersed in the man and you go in that water, that's what you actually were showing with the mercy and the favor. You understand what I'm saying? Come on with it. It's gonna make sense by the time I get finished. Ephesians 2 and 7, make it verse 4.
But Elohim, which is rich in mercy.
He's rich in what?
Mercy.
Rich in what?
Mercy.
Hold on. Ain't that something? Now I'm not gonna, y'all ain't got to go get it. I'm gonna reference it and you can go get it yourself. But in Proverbs 13 and 7, he said there's a man who have great riches, yet have nothing. And he said there's a man who is poor, yet is rich. We know Paul wrote to us in the second epistle to the Corinthians in the 8th and 9th verse that you know the poverty of your master YAHUSHA HaMashiach. And though he was rich, he made himself poor for our sake. So he was rich in mercy. So he gave up that mercy to be crucified on the stake to make you rich in mercy. That's why he turned around and tell you that. How can you not be merciful? You understand what I'm telling you? This man got nailed to a tree. This man got pierced in the side. They snatched his beard out. They stoned the man. They slapped the man. They punched the man. They spit on the man because you sinned. You know what I'm saying? Not because he sinned, because you sinned. And you got to sit back and realize that. He said, Yahuwah Elohim descended in a cloud. He made a cloud come over the land from the 6th hour to the 9th hour. When that cloud came down, that's when the Mashiach came down off the stake. So when he came down off the stake and he landed in pool in his own blood, because he said truth lies in the street, what you turn around and see? Mercy and favor. Merciful and gracious, right there. Because he didn't have to send the man. He didn't have to do that. Come on, sir.
But Elohim, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us.
Oh, for the great love. Greater love have no man in this, that a man lay his life down for his friend. That man say not that you have loved Elohim, but that Elohim loved us. Therefore, a man ought to lay his life down for his brethren. Then what I'm saying back telling you, you turn around and look at it, there's no individuality with it. So I was telling y'all this, like I said, the next time we actually go inside and we begin to start going back over the Hebrew like we've been going over, we're going to look at the characters for the word Akna. Now, we already know that means strong defense, offense. You know what I'm talking about? How else you going to be a strong defense for your brother if you're not with him? If you say, I'm going to be over here and I'm going to be over there. You supposed to hold them down. That's what the body, guess what? Your feet can't operate without the kneecap. Even though they far and they distance from each other, they all play an inner role. The hamstring play a role, the quad play a role, the tendons play a role, the bones play a role. Everybody got a role. Some roles are greater than others. You know what I'm talking about? Just using the part of talking about the lower extremity, you don't realize your glutes are the most important part of everything in your lower body. Because without them, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. If your glutes off, it throw everything off. It'll throw your quads off, throw your hamstrings off, your calves off. You sit around here walking crazy. I was tripping, I realized I was tripping. I see the brother say he seen a bow-legged white man. He said he never seen it before. It was a sight to see. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't never seen one bow did. You imagine seeing a bow-legged white man? I couldn't imagine that. Come on.
Verse 5. Even when we were dead in sins, he has quickened us together with the Mashiach. By grace ye are saved.
You don't even sit back and realize that, right? This something that came to my mind with that. We say even though we were dead in sins, right? When Eve took down there and partook of that fruit, she ended up being dead in sin. He said, but I made you alive through a Mashiach. Now realizing when Adam came and died, he was showing you the product. I'm gonna make you alive. Second Adam, right? I'm making you alive. Come on.
And hath raised us up together and made us sit together in the heavenly places in the Mashiach Yahusha.
Go ahead.
That in the ages to come he might shew the exceeding riches of his grace.
He might show what?
The exceeding riches of his grace in his kindness towards his kindness.
His what?
His kindness.
Come on.
Towards us through the Mashiach Yahusha.
You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing. We're going to sit back and read that. That's what his attributes say in Exodus 34 too, don't we? He got love and kindness, right? Come on. Come on.
For by grace are ye saved.
By favor, you are saved.
Through faith. Not of yourselves.
Not of yourself.
It is the gift of Elohim.
It's the gift of Elohim. You'll sit back and realize Hamashiach was the gift. Because I didn't have to send it. Messiah. He ain't have to send it. He ain't have to send it. Come on, finish Exodus 34 for me. I'll get hold of Deuteronomy 7:7. We'll get to Genesis 9 in a minute. That's what we out here for, but my mind's somewhere else right now.
Says, and Yahuwah passed by before him and proclaimed, Yahuwah Elohim, merciful, gracious, long-suffering, and abundant in goodness and truth.
What else?
Keeping mercy.
Keeping what?
Keeping mercy.
Keeping what?
Keeping mercy.
What else?
Forgiving iniquity.
Forgiving what?
Forgiving iniquity. Woo! And transgression and sin. And that will no means clear the guilty.
That's what all that means. So we done talked about it many times before. You can do wrong, I'm going to punish you. I'll forgive you, but I'm going to punish you. David committed sin, he forgave him. Punished him. Punished him. You know, we done talked about some of them punishments, but the same punishments fell on the Mashiach did. Because he said the sword would be in your house forever. So it only makes sense that Hamashiach would be killed. It only makes sense that these white folks slay us dead in the street if we happen to be from the house of David. It would only make sense because he said that curse gonna be in your house forever. And that's what he meant. You know what I'm talking about? So he'll sit back and look at it. He said the sword will chase you one way, you'll run when no man pursues. That's how we live it. But we sit back and look at it is we not consumed in the Lamentations of Jeremiah. I think it's about chapter 3, probably about verse 52 somewhere. He said his mercies are made every day they made new. He said by his mercies that we are not consumed. You not realize when this man get up there on that stake and he died, that's the mercy to keep you from not being consumed. You mind this before. I got a point to what I'm working on. Pale, you give me Proverbs 10 and 11.
The Elohim did not set his love upon you.
What?
The Elohim did not set his love upon you.
Why did he do it?
Nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people.
Why he did it?
For ye were the fewest of all people.
Uh-huh.
But because the Elohim loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your father, have the Elohim brought you out with a mighty hand.
You know what he said? He said he did this because of your father. Get Luke 1, 72. Not 72. Take it back 71. Luke 1 and 71. Why you think Mashiach was born? He got to sit back and do that. I loved your father. Therefore, I'm going to show mercy on you because of them. You know what I'm saying? So So when you turn around and look at that, you getting an undeserved gift of favor that you didn't even earn. You getting this gift because Abraham believed in Yahuwah and he counted to him for righteousness. Come on.
That we should be saved from our enemies.
From our who?
Enemies.
From our who?
Our enemies.
What else?
And from the hand of all that hate us.
Don't you realize he said Abraham from the hand of everybody that hated him? Don't you realize he did it for Isaac? Don't you realize he did it for Jacob? Don't you realize he did it when he took it out of Mizraim? But then we can take it a step further. This man sent the son to deliver you from your enemy, which is death, and destroyed him who had power over that enemy, which is the devil. He said, but this called the son of Elohim was manifested, he might destroy the works of the devil. So that's why we turn around and look at this man came to destroy sin so we could be freed from our enemy and the hand of all those that hate us. Because it says Satan is like a roaring lion seeking about whom he may devour. That's your enemy. That's your adversary, ain't nothing but an enemy. You know what I'm saying? And the enemy is death. And death is on every corner. Some of y'all too young to remember that pop song. I see death around the corner. You know what I'm saying? But sin is around every corner. If you don't put the breastplate of Elohim on and you don't put the helmet of salvation on, then guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be ready to fight that war. Same way I told you, you got to have that kokma, that wisdom. You got to have the skill to know how to go to war. The only way you're going to know how to go to war, you got to know the word. You know the word, you're going to be able to fight. You're going to be able to know the enemy's devices when they come. You're going to know his tactics. You're going to know how to battle it. You're going to be able to know how to conduct yourself that your soul might be saved. Come on.
To perform the mercy.
To perform what?
The mercy.
The what?
The mercy.
Come on.
Promised to our fathers. And to remember his Kudash covenant.
To remember the covenant. What else?
The oath which he sware to our father Abraham. That he would grant unto us that we being delivered out of the hand of our enemies might serve him without fear in Kudash righteousness before him all the days of our life.
Hold on. You already say he just took you to say to save you from your enemy that you might serve him without fear. Give me 1 John 4 and 8. We come back to Deuteronomy 7. 1 John 4 and 8. Make it 17. Matter of fact, make it 14, so that's bringing it up. 1 John 4 and 14.
1 John 4 and 14.
Yes, sir.
And we have seen and do testify that the Father sent the Son to be the Savior of the world.
He sent the Son to be merciful and gracious. Come on.
Whosoever shall confess that Yahusha is the Son of Elohim, Elohim dwell in him and he in Yahuwah.
The only way you can confess that YAHUSHA is the son of Elohim, you got to believe on him as the scripture has said. How else you can confess it? Faith come by hearing and hearing come by the word of Elohim, and a man confesses the salvation under life. You can't confess what you don't know. Come on.
And we have known and believed the love that Elohim has to us.
He said, we know the love that he has for us. He just told you about the love. He said, the love is because I told you because of your father. Why do you think Mashiach came around and told his disciples? Remember now, this going right to this Deuteronomy 7 in that John 15, right? He had how many disciples? How many tribes is it? And he came and told them, he said, I haven't chosen, you haven't chosen me. I chose you and ordained you that you might go and bring forth much fruit. Why would you sit around and think he told you that? I didn't pick you because you were the most of any number. I picked you because the love that I had for your forefathers. Why you think he told them that? He would let them know, I didn't pick, you didn't pick me. I picked you, you didn't love me. I loved you. Come on.
And we have known and believed that love, that herein is our love made perfect.
Herein is our love made what?
Made perfect.
Why is it made perfect?
That we may have boldness in the day of judgment.
Boldness in the day of judgment. Come on.
Because as he is, so are we in this world.
I mean, the same way Yahusha was in this world, that's how we going. We're going to become in. He said, everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. So we already know, and we just reiterating because we out here. Ain't no way in the world you let somebody tell you you can't never stop sinning. Ain't no way in the world you're going to let somebody, when your master tell you the disciple is not above his master, and everyone that is perfect shall be as his master, and he was made perfected because the love he had towards Elohim and keeping his statute and dying for it, don't let nobody tell you you can't do that. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do that. That's just a nigga who ain't got no ambition or aspiration to achieve nothing. You know what I'm saying? You sit back and look at it. When it comes to natural things, you don't never want to let nobody tell you what you can and can't do. But when it comes to salvation, oh, you can't keep them laws. You can't be perfect. You can't be this. Why all this can't come in at? But then you tell people don't put can in your vocabulary. But when it comes to y'all's word, can't everywhere. You can't stop masturbating. You can't stop smoking. You can't stop cussing. No, nigga, let me clarify it for you. You can't. Speak for yourself. Go ahead.
There is no fear in love.
There's no what?
There is no fear in love.
Why is that?
But perfect love casts out fear.
Yeah, what we just read. So perfect love towards Elohim, all perfect meaning to be complete and mature and to be whole. A mature, complete love towards Yah will cast out all fear. When you turn around and you look at the book of Nehemiah, Nehemiah sat back and considered when the men came to bring that evil report, he said they're trying to put fear in me that I might sin. But we already know to be fearful is a sin against the Most High. You got fear, you sinning. That's why he said the fear for the unbelieving hitting the leg. You can't serve Yah and be fearful. Because if you're fearful, that means you don't trust him. That means you don't believe that he can come through and stand through valiantly on your behalf. He said the eyes of Yah go to and fro throughout the earth to show himself strong on the behalf of those whose heart is perfect towards, whose heart is complete. Because perfect love casts out that fear. Well, even when the Mashiach had the trepidation because of the flesh, but you realize when he asking that cup to pass, there's emotions. That's why I was sitting back saying those are emotions. Even though you got emotions and you express those emotions, you don't let those emotions dictate your actions. Because he like this here, let this cup pass. Now you sitting back looking at this man and say, he the son of Elohim, he got to die. If he got to die, why he talking about let the cup pass? Because I'm a man, nigga. Right now I'm a little nervous. I know what's finna happen to me. I would prefer this not to happen. That's how the flesh thinks. The reason why I'm saying it because I'm experiencing this my own self. When you're expressing what you're thinking and what you're feeling, that doesn't actually mean that that's what you're going to do. But this is what's in your head at the time. Because we still dust and ashes. And the flesh can get weak, but the Ruach is willing. You know what I'm saying? So if you lean to the Ruach, even though these thoughts and feelings are coming through you, you're not going to necessarily lean towards it. You know what I'm saying? Because when he was sitting back leaning that he was going to die, he ended up doing it. My time has come. Right? Come on.
There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear.
Yes, sir.
Because fear has torment.
Has torment.
He that fears not made perfect in love.
Got fear in your heart, you ain't got no perfection in love. Come on, man, what you got? 10 and 12, read it for me.
Hatred cover of stir upon strife.
Get 10 and 11. Matter of fact, let's go back to Exodus 34. Finish your Deuteronomy 7. We'll come back to Proverbs. Forgive me. Let's finish that Deuteronomy 7 and Exodus. I think we did finish Exodus 34. We good with Exodus 34. Let's finish that Deuteronomy 7. Then we'll move forward.
But because the Elohim loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, as the Elohim brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen.
You sit back and realize, right? He say, yeah, well, I'm going back here. He tell you no lie. I ain't trying. Now he just sat back and said, with a mighty hand he brought you out. He said, to whom is the arm of Yahuwah revealed, right? He brought you out of the house of bondmen because he said he that commits sin is deserving of sin. If the Son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. So you see that even in the Torah, it's pointing to the mercy and favor that he was showing. Because he didn't have to save our ancestors out of this right. He could have left them right there. But because of the covenant we made with our fathers, he redeemed them. So then you turn around and see that because of the covenant he made with our father, he sent his son in the likeness of sinful flesh, redeeming right arm to pull you up out of transgression. But brothers can't see it. They're not sitting back looking at this, the mercy of Elohim. So then when we see that, that's when we're supposed to realize we're supposed to be developing that same pattern of behavior. You know what I'm saying? He say if you love Elohim with all your heart and all your soul, and you love your neighbors, you love yourself, there's no way you'll be able to transgress. You'll keep the man whole Torah. Because you're going to love him, you're going to obey him, you're going to look at your brother, you're going to see your God, and you're not going to do nothing to him. And if you did trespass against him, you will repent of the trespass, your brother will forgive you, and y'all keep on going. Come on, sir. Luke 17. No, go ahead.
And redeem you out of the house of bondmen from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
He redeemed you from Satan. Come on.
Now therefore that Elohim, he is Yahuwah, the faithful Elohim, which keep covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations.
Ain't that something right? That's good. Ain't that something that we always hear people say, that Old Testament God was, he was wrathful. But yet all through this law, you always hear about the mercy that he saved. All through it. It's all it talks about. So then you ain't sitting back and realize, of course the son gonna come to talk about mercy. Kel, give me John chapter 5, verse 2. Yes, sir. You can talk about animal out there.
Oh, looking at the slide.
He said, get the animal.
What's up, Sean? Good.
John 5:25.
Verily, verily, I say unto you,
Go ahead.
the hour is coming, and is now is.
Come on, put some bass in it, man.
The hour is coming,
And now is.
and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of Elohim.
Make that 5 and 16. John 5 and 16, my apologies. Okay.
Therefore the Chaldeans persecuted YAHUSHA and sought to slay him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath day.
Yeah.
But YAHUSHA answered and said unto them, my Father worketh here too, and I work. Therefore the Chaldeans sought the more to kill him,
They said to kill him.
because not only had he broken the Sabbath,
What'd he do?
but it said also that Elohim was his father,
Go ahead.
making himself equal with Elohim.
Go ahead.
Then answered Yahusha and said unto them,
What'd he say?
Verily, verily, I say unto you,
Truly, truly, I say unto you. What did he say?
the Son can do nothing of himself,
Son can't do nothing on his own. What does he do?
but what he see his Father do.
What he see is what?
What he see is the Father
What he
do.
see is what?
What he see is the
So
Father
if the
do.
Father show mercy, guess what the Son gonna come do? So why do people sit back and say the Old Testament God ain't got no mercy? Where they get that from? When we didn't look in the law, he said mercy, 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 over and over again. Gracious, 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 over and over again. So guess what that's telling us to be? It says, as he is in the world, how he was in the world, we got to be likewise. So guess what that means? You got to be merciful, gracious, forgiving, long-suffering. Oh, man. So guess what happens if we don't show them attributes then? You commit sin. Because you're not following the instruction. That's the Torah. He declared his name. Hold on. 2 Timothy 2 and 19. Now we can get Proverbs 10 and 12, 10 and 11. Y'all bear with me. My mind rolled up.
They said they ain't mercy because they be like, no, they was casting stones and killing them.
Hey, man, that is mercy. Now, I gave you the chance for what not to do. You chose to do it anyway. I still got to judge. You know the reason why they ain't sitting back looking at? Like I told y'all the other night. Ecclesiastes 8:11 say what? Because the evil sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. It's privily in the hearts of sons of men to do evil. So you feel like because I can knock a couple of these holes down and I ain't get hit by no lightning or ain't nothing happened to me, I can knock a couple more down. You know what I'm saying? Now realize I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see you. But you don't know, that's why he said that fiery look, he said that fearful look for that fiery indignation. You don't never know when it's coming. You don't never know when it's coming. So you know when you sit back and look at it, don't do nothing to bring that, come on man, I'll show you how hypocritical these people live. You talking about God can't render no judgment, but you take your stake behind right up at that street and stand in front of Mr. Charlie and wait for his judgment while he got a black robe on. You know what I'm talking about? Mr. Charlie tell you you got a $300 fine, you rush to go pay Mr. Charlie. You know what I'm talking about? You worry about, boy, I ain't finna get caught with that weed, boy. Mr. Charlie give me 5 years. But you don't care nothing about y'all giving you an eternity in a lake where the worm died not, the fire not, when you ain't worried about that. I just say, how you more scared of jail than hell? What type of sense that make? Well, I don't want neither one. I ain't never been to hell. I know I want to go there. Before I ever went to jail, I know I ain't want to go there. When I got there, it was confirmed. You know what I'm talking about? This is not what it is. It's a whole bunch of niggas in here. Niggas in here raping themselves. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas in here smoking greens and banana peels. Niggas around here blowing them niggas booty. I'll never forget as long as I live. While I was on the 4th floor and you walking out of jail, boy, when that punk came up to the door and said, I want some penis. And they kicked all of us. I said, let's get up under the punk. That nigga kicked all of us out the room. Nigga ain't even know the nigga was messing with punk whose room we was in. You know what I'm saying? The punk didn't walk right up to the door just like this here. I want some penis. Let's get up under the punk. The punk looked at all of us. Oh, y'all gotta get out of here. I'm like, oh,
man.
I said, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like we in the county, bro. I can say, it ain't cool, period. I can see prison. Nigga, we right downtown. That nigga said, boy, get up out of here, bro. I said, whoa. It was about 5 of us in there. Nigga got magazines and whatnot. Boy, I was in the same dorm, too. I was walking past, I had forgot the nigga was roommates with the pump. The nigga got his whole room black. he done put something over the light. Cause they put the lights out, it don't go black in the room when they can't see. Cause them people still gotta be able to see it themselves. And I ain't think about it, I gotta go use the bathroom, so I walk past and I'm like, tell my dog, I say, boy, that nigga room is getting black. That nigga say, you know what that nigga room is black. The punk in that nigga, so I'm like, man, I forgot about it. They was killing it. Boy, was a nigga, they called him, Shorty Blue Shoe. Cause that nigga had on some blue suede shoes. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga was chasing that faggot from floor to floor. They put the faggot on the third floor, he trying to get to the third floor. Well, not the third floor, the women on the third floor. He say he go to the fourth floor, he trying to go there. Wherever the faggot going, he going. You know what I'm saying? But that's just showing you the perversity of people's mind. So let's flip it on the flip side and look at it on the street. Wherever the freak hole go, that's where the niggas in the neighborhood go. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, freak hole at such and such high. Everybody trying to go up and line up and knock her down too. You know what I'm saying? Wherever the nigga got the best weed at, that's where I'm at. Whatever sin you got, whatever vice you got, that's what you chasing. And you trying to be where you're sin at. You know what I'm saying? And wherever you're sin at, your Elohim ain't at. You know what I'm saying? So you need to turn around and look at, if YAHUSHA ain't here, why am I here? Don't make sense, do it. Come on, what I got you on?
2 Timothy
2 and 19. 2 Timothy 2 and 19.
Nevertheless, the foundation of Elohim stands sure,
It stands sure.
having this seal.
What's the seal?
Yahuwah know of them that are his,
Say Elohim know them that are his.
and let everyone that name the name of
Name them what?
Mashiach, that name the name of the Mashiach,
Do what?
depart from iniquity.
Do what?
Depart from iniquity.
Do what?
Depart from iniquity.
So if you're going to sit back and say you're going to put Yasharal on your name, you're going to say I'm a Yasharal, I'm a Mashiach, you say depart from iniquity. Because what we just read from his name, read it for me. Where you at now?
I'm working on it.
What we just read with his name, what did they have you? Well, even though he proclaimed that what it was is what I see the Father do, the Son do likewise. So he just sit back and look like the Son has proclaimed the name of Yahuwah being merciful and gracious. And what did you turn around and see the Son do? Depart from iniquity. He abstained. So if you're going to turn around and you're going to proclaim the name of Mashiach, the name of Yahusha, then you will be proclaiming the name of Yahuwah. Therefore, you're going to have to do what? Be merciful, be gracious, be loving kind, forgive, and depart from iniquity. Because Job tell us there's no iniquity with Elohim. We done read that in 2 Chronicles 19 last night. Ain't no iniquity with Elohim. When you go to judgment, you judging for Elohim, not man. See, that's the same thing we look at. When you go downtown to that courtroom, they judging for man. They not judging for Elohim. That's why we got that Gentile mind state, because we look at when somebody actually do judge a matter, you looking at it, he's judging for man and not judging for Elohim because you still carnal. You're going to always think that somebody judging the fitted according to their desire, and they will. A true servant Elohim ain't going to do that because he know he's going to hell to do that. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, I sit here and judge a matter, and I judge it because it's what I feel. I'm going to judge it for Troy because I want Troy to win. So you going to hell for Troy too. And Troy going to hell with you because he won. You know what I'm saying? That man say judge it, don't respect the person or the poor or the person or the rich, no matter who it is, small, great, whatever. Judge it. Whoever right is right, whoever wrong is wrong. That could be a billionaire. If you're wrong, nigga, you wrong. Restore to that man fourfold. Because you know there are sins that are not sins under death. This man got laws that lay down every single solitary thing to deal with every man or human interaction, even business transactions. This man even got statutes to deal with stuff that when I let you borrow something and something come up short, to be able to remedy that. But somebody know, well, I let that nigga hold $100. When I came back, it was only $75. Now what happened to my other $25? You know, nigga, you do know. But then he got a diligent search for you to find it out. Hey, if he didn't do that there, then he ain't got to restore nothing. But if he did that there, he got to restore you fourfold what was missing. He got something to gather everything. That man even got stuff to sit back to govern how you charge interest. He said you can charge the nation whatever you want. He said you can't charge interest amongst one another. So that means, look at this, I can't lend Troy $100 and say give me 150 back. Troy got to give me $100 back. I can go to that young lady right there and give her $100. I need 500 back. I ain't committed no sin though. My law say I can tax her. Not because she white, just because she ain't one of us. I can tax her. That's in our law. I mean, I was talking to somebody about that years ago. He was like, yeah, I said, I showed it to you. He's like, oh, I didn't know that was in there. Yeah, it's in there. I ain't gonna tax you. I'm gonna tax Mr. Charlie though. You think I would? That Mr. Charlie come to me talking about, I need to borrow $1,000. I'm gonna do you just like you've been doing now. I need 3,000 back. That's ridiculous interest. I know it. Holla at Visa. You know what I'm saying? You know the people be charging 28% APR on stuff? All type of stuff. shoot, boy. If they would have had an interest rate on this phone, I bet you that phone would have stayed in that store and I'd have been walking with crushed up Betty. Bet you that. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't paying it back dollar for dollar, I ain't winning. You know what I'm talking about? If I got to pay back $5 for $1, you can keep it. I ain't never believed in credit, man. I'm gonna be around here paying $5 on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? I might as well just go ahead and get me old ungreased penis and rape myself in. Straight up and down, that's what you're doing though. You don't realize these banks rape. But we ain't got no choice because that's the system that we in if we want to do certain things. But most people ain't got $15,000, $20,000 talking about I'm finna go buy a car outright. Ain't too many people got no duffel bag they can walk up and say, here's $150,000, give me this house. Who can do that? You don't know too many people who can do that. Like they said, that wash and dry, $5,000. Here you go. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? So what you got to do, you're going to have to finance it. And in the process of that, they kill you. Unjust people. Since I said that, James chapter 2, verse 1. Somebody get that. Look at the man's face. He said, you know, these people, they despise the folk. Don't you realize when this so-called economic collapse went down, they blame black people for it? Y'all got houses you couldn't afford. Well, why would you go out here and finance their house if you knew I couldn't afford it? You the loan manager, nigga. You knew I couldn't afford it before you sold it to me. You knew I couldn't pay for this credit card before you gave it to me. You knew I couldn't afford this car payment before you financed it to me. Then you're going to turn around and blame the Pope. And then they turn around and give a bailout to the same people who robbed the Pope. Come on, man. Same kind of people.
My brother, have not faith of our Master YAHUSHA HaMashiach.
James 3.
My brother, be not many masters, knowing we shall receive the greater condemnation.
Yeah.
For many things will offend all.
Oh, that make it forward. I'm tripping. Right. James 5.
Lighten up.
Go to now, ye rich men.
Go where?
Go to now, ye rich.
You rich men. Why is that?
Weep and howl.
Weeping what?
Weep and howl.
Why is that?
For your miseries shall come upon you.
Your misery coming.
Your riches are corrupt.
They corrupted. Don't you sit back and see these people, riches corrupted. All the riches that you sit back in this city, they stole. Everything you sit back looking at. The money they got to build that city hall, they stole it. The money they got to get that library, they stole it. Well, you say how they stole it. They ain't just get it from no tax money. They stole that stuff 300-400 years ago. They stole that when they stole the land. They stole that when they stole the people. They stole that when they shed the blood. They stole that when they oppressed the people. They stole that when they made up unjust laws to the people. They did that when they came up with ways to finance to oppress the people. Come on.
Your riches are corrupt.
They what?
Your riches are corrupt.
Go ahead.
And your garments are moth-eaten.
Go ahead.
Your gold and silver, canker.
Hey.
And the rust of them shall be a witness against you.
He said, well, when that money rust over, that's going to be a witness against that what's going to happen to you.
And shall eat your flesh.
Eat, do what?
Eat your flesh.
And he told you in Zechariah 14, when them people come up against Jerusalem, they flesh will consume away in their eyeballs and their tongues and their mouth. So you thought your riches were going to get you up out of this hill. Come on.
And shall eat your flesh as it were fire.
As it were what?
As it were fire.
It's amazing how this word all go together, don't it? Go ahead.
Ye have eat treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of laborers who have reaped down your fields.
He said the what? The who?
The hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields.
The payment of the people who doing your work, right? Listen what he say now.
Which is of you kept back by fraud.
By fraud. Look how these people keep your money back from you. You know how they make the people feel good? They give you, I'm going to show you how it's fraud. He said the hire of your labors, that's the money you keep back by fraud. Now you sit back and you learn something, right? You'll find out that the tax laws are actually not lawful. That it's actually illegal for them to actually charge you income tax. So then they take money up out your check and they holding it back by fraud because it is a fraudulent law. The IRS is not a part of the United States government. It is a private entity and corporation. It is the collecting arm of the United States, or the Federal Reserve. That's what it is. The Federal Reserve is a private bank. The law states that there is no way, there's no law anywhere saying that anyone got to pay federal income tax. Nowhere. You're not going to find it. Now, if you do the proper steps to not pay it, they're going to kill you. Or they're going to lock you up. That's what Wesley Snipes is there. That's a whole other discussion. You know what I'm talking about? Because he knew the laws, he understood it, he went forth and executed it, they locked him up. You know what I'm saying? So when he's telling you that money is kept back by fraud, and we in that time of year where everybody get excited to do what? get my income tax check. My income tax check. And they only giving you back a small percentage of the money that they defrauding you out of in the first place. Now when it comes to taxes, that's something totally different. Because we tax people in our land. You know, King Solomon taxed the people. So for them taxing, we can't say nothing about that. Because you know, they came to Mashiach about, do you pay tribute, do you pay taxes? And he paid. So that's something totally different. But the income tax, that's keeping money back by fraud. 401k plan, that's keeping money back by fraud. Them people know you ain't gonna have that money when it's over. Taking money out of Social Security, that's keeping your money back by fraud. Them people know what they doing. You're gonna look up one day, it ain't gonna be there. You know what I'm talking about? They keep raising the age because they hoping you ain't gonna live long enough to get it. You know what I'm talking about? Then by the time you get it, they ain't paying for nothing. They say, I can barely get half a piece of bubble gum in a glass of water. They say the water supposed to be free. You know what I'm talking about? Keeping it back by fraud though. You know these people always got their hands in your pockets, ain't giving you nothing. Come on.
Which of you are kept back by fraud cry, and the cries of them which have reached are entered into the ears of the master of Sabbath.
So they said the people that been crying, you said that these people, what they deflated, they killing us. They killing us. Them cries coming in y'all's ear, he hearing it. He hearing it. You think he don't hear them cry? You know what that go back to? The cries of the people you done kept back by fraud. Go right back to Exodus when the people were crying out about how they was oppressed by their masters and their Egyptians. They were the rich people, had all the stuff, corrupted riches. They were crying out because of oppression. He heard them say, I'm gonna come down and get them. He said, the master of rest says, coming in my ear. Come on.
You have lived in pleasure on the earth.
What?
You have lived in pleasure on the earth.
What else?
And have been wanted. You have nourished your hearts as in the day of sorrow.
Praise God. Come on.
You have condemned and killed the just.
You did what?
You have condemned and killed the just.
Don't you realize they were the chief priests and scribes, them that had all them riches and all that stuff, oppressing the people? Them the ones condemned and killed that just man. Go ahead.
And he does not resist him.
And did Mashiach resist him? He let him get him, didn't he? Come on.
Be patient, therefore, brother, until the coming of the master.
That's what you got? Give me Proverbs. Give me John chapter. Make it 5. Call Ryan Clean. You know he need a new braid job. Oh, he got a Durango. He might want to take that braid.
Yeah, that ain't clean, right?
It's a nice looking ride, but I remember working at Jiffy. The people told me that was that. Well, I remember that I'll never forget that. The dude that be up under the bait, chain the oil, and they said, don't you never buy a Durango. Pieces of trash. I said, they can't be that bad. They horrible automobiles. Like, he was going, oh. You know, I don't know nothing about no cars.
No, the American one sucks.
All I know is that was 2000, and how he was going off by the Durango, I knew I wasn't never gonna buy one. That's all I knew. He scared me out of one. I don't know if they're gonna be ride good or not. I ain't gonna find out. He scared me. He was going, oh. Come on, man. Proverbs 10:11.
The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life,
Yeah.
but violence covers the mouth of the wicked.
Violence do what?
Cover the mouth of the wicked.
Come on.
Hatred stirs up strife.
Hatred do what?
It stirs up strife.
Go ahead.
But love covers all sins.
Love does what?
It covers all sins.
Love does what?
It covers all sins.
Give me Luke 17:1. You stay right there. I'm gonna break that 10 to verse 11 and 12 down in there. Give me Luke 17:1. You say love cover. Remember that last night? That's what we read in 1 Peter 4, right? But amongst all things have fervent charity, because love covers a multitude of sins. That's why you turn around, what greater love have no man than this, a man lay his life down for his friend. The love of Mashiach covers a multitude of sins. You don't realize when you turn around and you love him back by obeying him, that covers a multitude of sins. Guess what ends up happening? When you love your brother, when he trespasses against you, guess what you will end up doing? Covering a multitude of sins. Come on, Luke 17:1.
Then said he to the disciples,
What he say?
it is impossible that offenses will come,
He say offenses gonna come.
but that offenses will come.
He say offenses gonna, guess what that means? People are going to offend you. That's gonna happen. Go ahead.
But woe unto him through whom they come.
But the destruction gonna come to him that commit the offense. Now remember, we looking at, he say violence cover the mouth of the wicked now. Come on.
It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck,
Yeah.
and he cast into the sea, that he should offend one of these little ones.
Go ahead.
Take heed to yourself.
Do what?
Take heed to yourself.
Why is that, Master?
If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him.
Correct it.
And if he repent,
And if he
forgive
what?
him. If he repent, forgive him.
Don't you realize y'all say those whom he loves, he chastened and rebuke? So you done turned around and you done offended against Yah, he rebuked you. And he said, if you repent, I'll forgive you. So why you can't do it? Come on.
And if he trespass against thee 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day turn to thee, saying, I repent, thou shalt forgive him.
You know what it'd be hard for us sometimes? And it's understandably so. We look at, well, you steady telling me you're sorry, but you're doing the same thing. So I just don't want nothing to do with you. But when you look at it, Elohim don't operate in that fashion. Now remember now, the mercy do run out. But he's sitting here telling you, even if your brother did the same thing 7 times in the same day, he said, I'm sorry. Get it. Come on. Because what you're looking at is, you're looking at is become the sons of Elohim, you must take on his actions. Go ahead.
And the apostle said to the master, increase our faith.
And do what?
Increase our faith.
And what did he say?
The master said, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, that you might say to this sycamore tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it shall obey.
You know what? That just take me back to YAHUSHA, son of Nun. He had enough faith that he was able to ask y'all, let the sun stand still in the middle of the day. And he hearkened. And he hearkened. Because remember, it said Caleb and YAHUSHA, son of Nun, had a different ruach, or a different spirit than the people that came up out of Mizraim, outside of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? This is going back to the weightier matters of the law. See, if we want our faith increased, it has to be an undying trust that just what Yah said he could do, he'll do it if it be according to his will now. Because you ask him to do something don't mean he's going to do it if it's not according to his will. You know what I'm saying? He could have something that you want him to do, and it could be according to his will, but not at that particular time. You know what I'm saying? Because everything, just like you know Ecclesiastes say, there's a time and a season for everything. So just because you ask for something at this time, doesn't mean he'll grant it at that time. He might have to take you through some tribulations, some afflictions, some suffering, some purging to prepare you to get that. That's the same way you look at it in the wilderness. They came up out of Mizraim. They did not go directly into the land. It took them 40 years to get there. It took them 40 years to get what they asked him for. But then when the time appointed, they got it. You understand what I'm saying? That's how you sit back and look at it. Just because he don't move when you ask him to move don't mean he ain't gonna move. It could take a year. It could take 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Joseph cried out to come up out of that prison. He didn't come out of that prison till 3 years later. You know what I'm talking about? But did he ever lose faith that Elohim would deliver him up out of that prison? No. He never lost faith in that. You feel me? So you just sit back and look at that. Just because it don't happen right then don't mean it ain't gonna happen. Just because it don't happen when you want it to happen don't mean it ain't gonna happen. You're gonna have to be patient and endure. That's why we didn't read it. That's why he said, look at Job as those who are patient in affliction. And when he endured, he was restored great. Because we don't know how long that period of time that was when Job first got afflicted until Elohim restored him. It could have been 6 months. It could have been 6 years. We don't know how long of a period that was. But no matter what he was going through, he endured all of that. This man lost everything he had and recouped nothing. But he never lost faith in Elohim. Because he sat back and looked at one considerable thing. Elohim is merciful and gracious. So if I continue to endure, Yah in his mercy, he'll restore me. That's the mind we got to have. That's what you got to look at. Just because you see the sun don't shine, it don't mean it ain't out there. You know what I'm talking about? Just because you don't see no light on a cloudy day, don't mean it ain't none going to come through. Just because it's raining don't mean it ain't going to stop. You know what I'm talking about? But the one thing you got to remember is keep trusting in Yah and keep doing the work. It'll pay off in the end. All things work out to the good of those that are called according to his will. You called according to his will. It's going to work out in your favor, but you might have to wait a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You might have to wait a little bit. A lot of people won't do that because we live in a microwave society. Again, Gentile thinking. I want what I want when I want it. How dare you make me wait? I don't want to wait. You know what I'm saying? But when you sit back and look at it, that's what long suffering is. That's patience. That's patience. Again, I'm talking about manifesting the attributes of the living Elohim. Manifest that. You manifest that, you can become one with him. Then he can become one with you. Then you can be quick into life everlasting, and you can dwell with him. Because the road might not be easy sometimes, it could be hard. That's where you get back and you see who's going to stand and who's going to fall. You feel me? Now let's read that Proverbs 10 and 11 again. Let's get some understanding. We still going to get Genesis 9 and 20 because it ain't even 4 o'clock yet.
The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life.
The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life.
But violence covers the mouth of the wicked.
Come on and get me John 4 and 4. Yeah, you got John 4 and 4, Stanley. Stanley got John 4 and 4. Yeah, you know what I want. John 6 and 6. Again, what happened with
And he must needs go through Samaria. Then come he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. Yahusha therefore, being weary with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour.
He said he was tired from his journey, and he sat on the well. Come on.
There come a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahusha said unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were going away into the city to buy meat.
Yep.
Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it thou, being a Yahudim, or a Jew, ask drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Yahudims have no dealings with the Samaritans.
Go ahead.
Yahusha answered and said unto her, If thou knowest the gift of Elohim,
If you do the what?
if thou knowest the gifts of
Then we
Elohim,
sit back and look at the gift already. What was the gift? Mercy and the favor, right? And Mashiach is that free gift. Give me Romans 5 and 13. Go ahead.
thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water.
If you had asked him, he gave you what?
Living
He
water.
gave you what?
Living water.
Come on.
The woman said unto him, Sir, you have nothing to draw
You
with,
ain't got nothing to draw with.
and the well is deep.
Who named me draw?
Moses.
Moses. So you ain't got nothing to draw with. Look what he telling us.
From whence when has you that living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob?
Hold on. They would consider themselves to be true Israelites. Israelites and Hebrews as well. But our belief, lifestyle, a tad bit. Doctrine is a tad bit. You just call it by it. All right, man. All right, brother. Hello. Go ahead, Seth. You know what you're doing.
Yahusha answered and said
Hold on. God sake, you a whole lot of that. It ain't even the fact that he said it, it was a look on his face. Like, this nigga's over there crazy. Indeed, I can't argue with you. Go ahead, bro.
Yahusha answered and said unto her, Whosoever drink of this water shall thirst again.
Whoever drink this water gonna be thirsty again.
But whosoever drink of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst.
Never thirst.
But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into
Didn't it just say
everlasting life.
the words of the righteous are a well of life? But I mean the words of the righteous are gonna be a water of life. Come on, man.
The woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw.
Why you don't sit back and realize when the Mashiach was up there on the stake, what did he say?
I thirst.
I thirst. Hold on. Hold on. We done dealt with this before, right? No. Zechariah 9. You say Psalm 43, we get it for him. What you say? What you got in your head in Psalm 43?
43 or 44, I think it was 42 where he said I thirst, or something like that. But I thirst for the Spirit or something.
We'll see. Zechariah 9 and 9. What does it say?
Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Yahusha.
Go on and shout then.
Behold, thy king cometh to thee, to thee.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Raza.
He is righteous.
He is what?
He is righteous.
He is what?
He is righteous.
Go ahead.
Having salvation.
Having what?
having
having
salvation.
mercy and grace.
Lowly.
He
Right?
what?
Lowly.
He what?
Lowly.
That lowly gonna make some sense in a minute. Come on.
And riding upon the ass.
Yes, sir.
And the coat of the foal of an ass.
Go ahead.
And I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim.
Yeah.
And the horse from Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And the battle bow shall be cut off.
The what?
The battle bow shall be
The
cut
what?
off. The battle bow shall be cut off.
He said back telling you, he said he a man of war. He said my shot gonna be cut off the battle bow. You know where you hold your battle bow at, right? And your quiver, but what hand you use to shoot it with? Right hand. Cut the right hand off. Come on.
His dominion shall be from sea to sea,
Sea to sea, you know that's a my shot. Come on.
and from the river even to the ends of the earth.
To the end of the earth. That means he enlarged in his estate. See, that's a whole other thing. See, that's Jabez right there. Come on.
That's it. As for thee,
As for who?
as for thee,
What'd he say?
also by the blood of thy
By
covenant,
the blood of what?
of thy covenant.
Now, y'all remember we were talking to them young men, they were telling us the new covenant wasn't in effect. Now see, they didn't allow us to go into it because that is such an easy, minute manner to show that the new covenant is in effect that it doesn't even make sense for a man to even say that it's not. What did he just say? Read it again. What does he say?
As for thee also, by the blood
The
of
blood
thy
of
covenant. The blood of thy covenant.
Because we know from Hebrew chapter 9, he say the first covenant was sanctified by blood as well. He said a covenant is no effect as long as the testator live. We know Euchanan the apostle, John the apostle said what? He said there's three that bear record in Shammai, Abba, the Ben, and the Ruach. And there's three that bear witness in the rest, right? The Ruach, the water, and the blood. These three agree in one. A covenant is no effect without blood. You even know that from Ezekiel 16. We done looked at that before. He said, I seen you in your blood. I said, live. Now you know how that applies into us? Every time you read the law, he said his blood be what? Your blood be upon you, right? Every time you was in your sin, I looked upon you in your blood. I said, live. He said, I washed you when nobody else wouldn't do it. That's why the man said, you clean from the word that I've spoken unto you. That's why he said, give me 1 John 1:2. Somebody give me that one. Hold what you got, cause my mind moving. Sit back, look what the man tell you. 1 John 1 said, make it sit.
1 John.
Y'all just bear with me. Because remember he said the words of the righteous are well of life. That means that's water. That water gonna wash you, man.
But if we walk in the light, as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another.
We got fellowship one with another.
And the blood of YAHUSHA HaMashiach,
What will it do?
his son, cleanse us
It'll
from
do
all
what?
sin. Cleanse us
It'll
from
do
all
what?
sin. Cleanse us from all
The
sin.
blood of the covenant. That's gonna cleanse you. And if it's gonna cleanse you, guess what that is? Mercy, grace, long suffering, forgiving iniquity and transgression. That's the attributes of your Elohim. So you have to sit back and turn around. When he tell you your brother coming, he sinned against you, and he say he repent, you supposed to sit back and look at it. He repent to be cleansed. So I ought to forgive him because I got to be like my Elohim. He said, as he is in the world, so are we. He merciful, he gracious, he compassionate, loving kindness, patient. Let me execute those attributes. Then when he do that, the whole world stand condemned when they see a son of the living Elohim. When they see a daughter of the living Elohim. You manifesting his attribute. You proven, just like we read last night, that you proven the acceptable and perfect will of Elohim. Because you have not conformed yourself according to this world. But you've offered yourself as a living sacrifice and be renewed in the spirit of your man. I'm not like you. You know, the world teach you to be a cookie cutter. Do what everybody else doing. When you're supposed to be a peculiar treasure. And it means odd. You're supposed to be odd to these people. Ain't no sinner supposed to recognize you. You know what I'm saying? They ain't supposed to know you. They ain't supposed to be able to relate to be cool with you. Not on no spiritual level. You gotta have some natural agreement. Come on, man. No, go ahead and finish that out.
If we say that we have no sin,
And we say we have what?
no sin,
What do we do?
we deceive
You
ourselves,
lie to yourself. You say you ain't never sinned.
and the truth is not in us.
Truth ain't in you.
If we confess our
If you
sins,
confess it, though,
he is faithful and just to forgive
because
us.
he already told you, he that confess and forsake his sins shall have mercy. That's why when you get immersed, you confess. Because then you say, when you confess it, I'm dying to sin, to live to it no more. I'm abandoning that. I'm abandoning the flesh to live in the Ruach. Why do you think the immersion show you that? Because you confessing your sin when you get in the water, right? Then you get in the water, you saying, I'm abandoning it. And guess what ends up happening? You get mercy. you get mercy. See, we sitting back looking at this because we've been dealing with the way that matters. That's why we talking about it. We sit back looking at it. We see how Elohim showed mercy on us. We should be able to do it under others. You know what I'm talking about? And we show the judgment of Elohim and how he execute righteous judgment, then we can turn around and execute it ourselves. And we can turn around and look at the righteous faith that many other men have exhibited, and we can turn around and do it ourselves. Then we can be made complete, because a lot of matters of the law are nothing to do. It's nothing to do. It ain't no big deal not to eat wear no mixed garments. All it is just paying attention to what you're buying. It ain't hard not to eat no GMOs or mixed diverse seed, fruits, and vegetables. All you're gonna do is pay attention to what you're buying. It ain't hard not to eat pork. You don't buy it. It's not hard not to cuss. Watch your mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to do these things. But those heavier things and weightier matters, see, that takes some conviction in the inward. That takes some desire to be merciful. Because now you're going to have to put your flesh to the side when your flesh say screw that man. You know what I'm saying? When your flesh go to doubt, it takes something to put that to the side and say, I trust in Yah in all things. I endure all things. You know what I'm saying? It takes something to sit back to execute judgment when I say I sure would like to do that, but I know I shouldn't do it. That takes something right there. That's not as easy. It's easy, but it's not as easy, because these are things that are going to be battling against your flesh, which your flesh will want to resist. Versus like this here, oh, there's nothing to not wear no jewelry. It's not nothing for me not to wear no pants. But then another woman sit back and look at, it's desperately hard for her not to wear pants. It's desperately hard for her not to wear jewelry and put on makeup. You know what I'm saying? Because they flesh is battling with that. You'll sit back and look at it. What direction you want to go? Because the weightier matters of the law will get you the weight up off of you. Because he said, let's put aside the sin and the weight that easily beset us and run the race with patience. You know what I'm saying? Then when we put all this stuff to the side and actually deal with the weightier matters of the law, it makes us denser. You know, when you talking about something being dense, you know, you talking about somebody who has a dense mind. I mean, this is somebody who's heavy. Somebody who got some substance. Somebody who got some layers. There's something to them. See, we like the weightier matters of the law because that's superficial. You know what I'm talking about? That's something I can easily see. Like you say, I got garments on, I got fringes on, I got a beard. You know what I'm saying? I got a fancy Hebrew name. I got all these Hebrew bracelets on. I got necklaces with Yah name on. You know what I'm saying? That's light stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the real stuff you ain't dealing with. Come on, Pale, let's finish this Zechariah. And that ain't just because they standing right here, but we know we talk about that anyway. No, because I know people sit back and watch and they get hit. You know what I'm saying? Like when they come to most Hebrews, man, they're at the bottom of the totem pole. When you talking about actually dealing with dudes who talking about something, we know they ain't talking about nothing. Because we know the dudes who originated the doctrine that they follow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that stuff, they ain't come up on their own. They listen to a particular group that actually come out of New York City. And all they're doing is actually regurgitating their doctrine. They don't even add no twist and turn. You know, they didn't even know growth in what they teaching, because they're not even adding on to nothing that the people who taught them gave them. Because even if somebody sat down and taught you, over a period of time when you're growing in the word, you would be able to add on to what that person taught you. And most that come up out of the doctrine that they learn, they don't never add anything on. It's the same thing over and over and over. If we would have caught the other group down there, all they would have been doing is regurgitating the same thing that the man who taught them has been teaching for 20 years. When we know that the word of Yahuwah is alive, therefore things that are alive do what? They constantly grow. Even though you don't get taller, you know what I'm saying? You know your skin sheds and then it regrows. You know what I'm saying? Your hair constantly grows. Y'all forbid unless you're going bald. You know what I'm talking about? The cells inside of your body continually regenerate. You know what I'm saying? The minute the cells stop regenerating and growing, guess what happens? You die. So when you turn around and you look at that, you in Yah's word, that's why he compared it to fruit. That's why he compared it to a seed. So when you water a seed that bear fruit, it continues to grow. That's why he say, out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water. You will be continually growing. Ain't no stop. You know anything that stops growing is dead. Huh? You can stand up, yo.
Let's go ahead and get him.
Receive. He hurt, man.
They don't believe in the virgin birth. Y'all believe in the virgin birth?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you would like to see, well, we can show it. We can show it to you in the beginning of the book. Oh yeah, we believe in that. It ain't even hard to believe.
I called it one time. They said Joseph.
Mary had sex. That's utterly retarded. That's the dumbest thing you'd ever want to hear.
When they said that, I said, oh.
But like I say, they believe that because the people called them. So their perspective on that particular matter is never going to change, because the reason why they believe that is because they believe that that is a pagan doctrine. They believe that that comes from the Romans, and that and they were like, you know, y'all don't operate that because the word says sperm and all this type of stuff. But then that's because you translate something out of Greek. That if you go ahead and you break it down in Hebrew, like I said, you're not going to see what you're seeing. Even though even in English it's clear as day. How can I have a baby and I've never known a man? Everybody knows what scripturally what it means to know him. But you know, it is what it is. Come on, Bill.
As for thee, by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit.
By the blood of the covenant, he sent forth what?
Prisoners out of the pit, wherein there was no water.
Where there was what?
Wherein is no water.
Wherein was what?
Wherein is no water.
So he had to sit back and look at it in that pit. Don't you, come on. You sit back and look at it, right? You sit back and look at he in the grave, right? That was a pit with no water. When he resurrected up out the grave, there come the well of water. That's why he said, you come drink out the well out of my well, you'll never thirst. You follow what I'm saying? Where you was at? Go ahead and end.
If we say that we have not sinned, we make him a liar, and his word is not in us.
Word ain't in us.
If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness.
Whoa, whoa, I'm glad I ain't seen. He said two men over there kissing all in the mouth.
First time I ever seen two men kissing was 2 months ago when I was at Riverside. He was the gospel over there. And I'm talking about men. I'm not, they are not feminine men. I mean, they muscle bound. Black and white. I mean, thick muscles. They locked, like they greeted each other. I'm like, what? I ain't never seen nothing like that. I mean, they were, man, like Navy SEALs.
Hey. He said, that made me think about that skit on Ride Dirty. Say, look at these niggas over here kissing in the mouth. So I ain't with all that raping my stuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
They do a lot of that.
I imagine. I ain't even thought about going out there to the Riverside and preach them before. They probably ain't got
Yeah, they had, about 2 or 3 months, they had a gay pride meeting.
Oh, my.
One of my friends said, hey, come on, let's go out there with me and preach the gospel. Went out there and preached with me. I told him, I said, they had the dogs, the gay pride stuff on.
Good.
Black, white, Hispanic, all races, little kids, all old people, all of them going crazy. They were jumping up going crazy. I said, this looks like Jacksonville. I said, what about seems like California, LA, New York?
See, I wouldn't even go out there and preach that stuff like that because you asking for a fight.
And you know what? A lot of them listen. It's amazing. A lot of them listen. Some of the younger people came and want to listen. I showed them the Bible. I said, we all going to be judged by God Almighty. You know, some of them get irritated. Oh, we don't want to hear it. You racist. You know what I'm saying? You this and you this. But some of them were like, calm down. I want to hear what he got to say. You know what I'm saying? And I would tell them, I said, and they know the Bible. And one guy was laughing at us. It was 3 of us. And it was like maybe 3,000 or 4,000 of them. And they said, y'all out here by yourself. I said, well, God told Joker to go to dinner. And dinner was good. And for some of them, they listen. That's why God said, even more, like you said, mercy. You got to even show mercy to the ones who don't believe the way we believe. Because at the end, God's going to judge us. But you can win them by your testimony and by how you carry your life.
So you say we can have mercy on them that are out the way.
There's some people in my neighborhood, they called me, a lady, she called me, she said, I gotta tell you something. She said, I've been watching you for a while. You don't act like the rest of guys. I ain't know she never been watching me. See, people watching you, see how you act. You know, if you say you hold the testimony of God and you know God, they want to see some type of difference. They want to see some type of difference. And they done heard about everybody say they know God and still doing the same thing. They want to see what's, like you said, what's Bible, what's set you apart.
What they
You
want to
holy
see.
sanctified, you got to be something. You can't act like that and win somebody to the God of righteousness. It ain't gonna never happen.
No, it ain't gonna happen.
Because in my neighborhood, I know a lot of people say they know God. Because you out there, dope right in front of your face, do all that, but they say they know God. Nobody selling drugs. How do you say they know God? And like, they want to fornicate with every woman Every time they see a woman, they like they ain't never seen a woman. Like it's the first time they ever seen a woman. You know, they got they like they ain't never seen a woman before. Like, God, but they say they know God. Talk to them about that. I ain't know God. I don't even know God. You know? What's your name? Chappelle? Dwayne. Dwayne? Hey, that's one of my best friends. Mike.
Dwight.
All right, y'all be blessed. I'm getting ready to go.
Keep up the good work, okay?
I like that.
Righteousness and holiness. Righteousness and holiness. Merciful. Be merciful to everybody you meet. Always preach the gospel, but you know that they ain't gonna like it, boys. If you already said somebody's gonna get killed for this gospel. We got people all around this world in the Middle East getting killed for the gospel. Now in the United States, getting killed for it. And what did he say? Don't be afraid that when you kill the body, not that anything you do. That's what he said about that fear. Y'all said, don't be fearful now.
All right, brother.
All right.
Good, man.
All right, y'all be blessed. Keep on the good one. And it shows me how in the faith they got all these different type of doctrines, right? That's why he said, I know the true church. You got a record of a true church. You got Pentecostals, you got Baptists, you got Baptists, you got all kinds of people, they all believe different things. Because when I met the other day, they say, are you going to go to the park? I was in the park. Well, there's another group over there. I want you to go and tell them what you told us. And they say, they're Israelites too. I'm like, oh, you're Israelite. They're Israelite. Why y'all don't believe the same? You see that some people go to church and they don't have the same belief though. Because God says, so once the Holy Spirit lives inside of you, the Holy Spirit will teach you all things. And God ain't going to never tell them anything. Because the blood, that means that you can denounce his blood that he ain't got no power. That means that God ain't got no power. So what's the difference between me and this world? I'm going to keep sinning until I go to heaven? What kind of life is that? God said, I give you power, you know what I'm saying? I give you power to become sons. You know what I'm saying? I want to walk in the power.
No, that's right.
I went to a big old mega church. I ain't going to even name the church. One of the elders, when he first grabbed my hand and pulled me into it and said, we all sin. We all going to sin. I'm like, why you got to tell me?
Hey, tell them what you said, what the pastor said to the girl.
Oh yeah, one of my friend girls told me, one of her friends went to this church.
Hey, Troy, listen to this one right here.
One of my, a girlfriend of mine, she told me one of her friends got invited to this church. The pastor told her, since we under grace, we can have sex with each other since we under grace. Whoa. There's a lot of that going on.
Say, cousin Greg, come over here and get some big
He
time.
said we're going to be forgiven for it.
Yeah, we're gonna be, we all got to do is keep repent. We all got to do is repent, you know what I'm saying? But that's how people want to keep sinning, you know what I'm saying? You say, okay, we can do it. That's how a lot of people, that's what you say. Everybody said, Lord, Lord, they ain't getting it. They go right to hell with it.
All
right, y'all be blessed.
All right,
I'm going to see you around.
All right, I'll see you
all
around.
right, yeah, we under grace, baby. Come over here, come get you some. Woo! You're going hard in the paint. But now you sit back and you look at it, right? He told her he'll give her a well of water, right? Who got that John 6 and 6? While Troy holding that Roman 5 and probably 5, make it 5. Nigga still over there kissing? Nah, he got the white man. Look at it, he provoking the man. No, the other dude was over there messing with the sister.
Yeah, he said, which one of y'all have the women? He said, which one of you?
He climbed the pump. Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie to you though, I can't even be mad at him. I can't even be mad at him. You know what I'm saying? I can't be mad at him. You go around here, old sweet booty nigga. Call that nigga Sweet Booty James. I didn't kiss the nigga in the mouth.
Now you think you're persecuted.
You know you think you're persecuted. I'm tell you something now. I ain't tell you no lie. Them talkers went up and went to catch wreck, boy. They gonna might come through and help you now. I can't let no sodomite get on you now. You know what I'm saying? You might not agree with your doctor. We still family though. I can't let no sodomite get on you now.
Better than me.
You better
Hey, what? Sit down. White team. Hey, that's how Cole got murked Wednesday night.
So live, but boy, I can't let you go down by the head of no sodomite.
Oh, man.
Not by no sodomite. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, boy, don't you get beat up by no punk now. You ain't gonna never be able to live that down.
That's all I would say.
Talking about in a Caucasian boy.
That's all I would say.
Oh. Come on, Stanley. What you got?
John 6.
6 and 60, y'all. I'm glad I ain't see that there, boy. I would see no two niggas kissing in
Many therefore of his disciples, when they had heard this said, This is a hard saying, who can hear?
Go ahead.
When Yahusha knew in himself that his disciples murmured at him, he said unto them, do this offend you?
Does this offend you?
What and if you shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the Ruach that quickens.
Hold on, because we talked about this the other day. Y'all with him, I got to sting this, because son just came to my ear. Now, I want y'all to hold the Romans 5. We good in Zechariah 9. We going to come back to Proverbs 10. But read that again. He say, what if you do what?
What and if you shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is.
Hold on. I need you to get me Joshua chapter 6, about verse 3. I need you to get me 1 Samuel chapter 28, about verse 12. He say, what and if you shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It's just going back to sundown we talked about Wednesday. And see, I'm going to tie this to sundown. Because we know we looking to get to Shamaheen, right? You know the song. What the hook say, Troy? That's what we trying to get to, right? Son, that's eternal.
Now how I go. Say how it's supposed to go.
See how it's supposed to go. Then he gonna put the camera on it. He said, you gotta sing it. He said, you got no answer.
Yeah, sing it, bro. Go, bro.
Sing it, bro.
Sing, bro. You got the sweater on and everything, bro. Sing it, bro.
I was thinking when he said, we just want to make it. I ain't gonna sing it now, because y'all ain't finna embarrass me.
All right, go, Troy.
I sound like Luther Vandross in the shower. I sound like a nigga on American Idol with Putty. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, he was on auto tune.
He said he can still recreate that though.
That's a hot song now. It's up there.
All right, go, Mike.
I can't even get up there.
All right, go, Mike.
Come on, what I got? Come on and give me that Joshua, Yahusha, Yahusha, son of Nun, chapter 6, verse 3.
And you shall compass the city.
You shall what?
You shall compass the city.
And what you gonna do?
All you men of war.
All the men of war.
And go around about the city once.
Go about it once.
Thus shalt thou do 6 days.
6 days.
And the 7 priests shall bear before the ark the 7 trumpets.
He gonna blow the 7th trumpet.
Of ram's horn. And the 7th day you shall compass the city 7 times.
And what's gonna happen?
And the priest shall blow with the trumpet.
What happened?
And it shall come to pass when they make a long blast.
A long blast.
With the ram's horn.
With the ram's horn.
And when you hear the sound of the trumpet.
What happens when they hear?
All the people shall shout.
The people will what?
Shout.
And what happened?
With a great shout.
What happened?
And the wall of the city shall fall down flat.
Go ahead.
And the people shall ascend
up.
up.
The people will do what?
Ascend up. Every man.
Every man will do what?
Ascend up.
They'll ascend up. He said, what if you see the Son of Man ascend up the way he was before? He said, when they hear what? A trumpet, right? Now we know from Revelation chapter 11, the 7th trumpet, what happened? Babylon falls. Then you know something else gonna happen. Read that 1 Samuel 28 while somebody give me 1 Thessalonians 4 and 13.
And when the women saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice.
Make it 9.
And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul has done, how he has cut off those that have familiar spirits.
Yeah.
And the wizards out of the land.
Out of the land.
Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life to cause me to die? And Saul swore to her by Yahuwah, saying, as Yahuwah lives, there shall no punishment happen to thee.
You see that man sat back and executed the wrong judgment? This woman say, have you said, that's what sinners do. They'll sit back, they telling you, you trying to set a snare for me to be killed because I'm sinning. No, you're going to be straight. God ain't going to do nothing to you for doing this. Come on.
As Yahuwah live, there shall be no punishment happen to thee for this thing.
Go ahead.
Then said the woman, who shall I bring unto thee?
Go ahead.
And he said, bring me up Samuel.
And what she say?
And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spoke to Saul, saying, why have you deceived me?
Yeah.
For you are Saul. And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw God.
She saw what?
God.
She saw what?
God ascending out of the earth.
She seen them ascending out of the earth. Didn't it just say that 7th trumpet, the people shall ascend? 1 Thessalonians 4 and 13, y'all. Hold on, Stanley. Give me a chance to get that. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 13. Go ahead.
But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For we believe that Yahusha died and rose again, even so them also which sleep.
She seen God's coming up out of the earth. Go ahead.
Even so them also which sleep in Yahusha
John 5:25.
will Elohim bring with him.
Go ahead.
For this we say unto you by the word of the Elohim, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Master shall not prevent them which are asleep.
They won't stop them that's dead. Come on.
For the Elohim himself shall descend from Shamayim, or heaven, with a shout, with the voice of an archangel.
And what else?
And with the trump.
With a what?
With the trump.
With a what?
With the trumpet.
Come on.
Of Elohim. And the dead in Yahusha shall rise first.
So they would have sinned, right? Go ahead.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them.
They would have sinned, right?
In the cloud.
In the what?
In the cloud.
Go ahead.
To meet the Elohim in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Master.
That's what we sitting back looking at. We trying to get the Hashemayim in there. You trying to meet him in the air then. To ascend when you hear that 7th trumpet. Come on, read John 5:25. Then we'll come back over here to what we was at. We'll come back to Proverbs 10 and 11. Or John 6 and 60. I got to work Bereshit 9 in here in a second. I got to work that in somehow.
Many therefore of his disciples, when they heard this, this is a hard saying, who can hear it?
You get John 5. Go ahead.
When Yahusha knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, does this offend you? What? And if ye shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before?
Go ahead.
It is the Ruach that quickens.
It's the what?
The Ruach that quickens.
Make alive.
The flesh profit nothing.
Ain't gonna get no gain from that.
The words that I'm speaking to you, they are Ruach and they are life.
Come on.
But there are some of you that believe not.
Go ahead.
For Yahusha knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him.
Go ahead.
And he said, therefore, I said unto you, no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father.
Go ahead.
From that time, many of the disciples went back and walked with him no more.
And what did Peter say?
Then said Yahusha unto the 12, will you go also?
And what did Peter say?
Then careful answered him, said, Master, whom shall we go?
Why?
You have the words of eternal life.
You sat back and looked at it. You know why? Because they said we should seek the Lord at the priest's mouth. They said, where you going to go at? You got the well of life in your mouth. They said, a righteous man's words are a well of life. Where we going to go at? You got the water. Well, I'm going to go somewhere else for you got it. So I'm trying to be where you at. I'm going where you at. You know what I'm saying? Now you sit back and look at it. Come on, read me John 5. You finish Proverbs 10 and 11. Tell you can get Proverbs 10 and 11.
Truly, truly, I say unto you, the hour is coming and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of Elohim, and they that hear shall live. For as the Father has life in himself,
because the Father got Ruach in himself, or water in himself, right? Go ahead.
So have he given to the Son to have life in himself.
So he don't get the Ruach in the Son that you might have life in yourself. Don't you realize the Son turning around to put life in you? Come on.
And have given him authority to execute judgment also.
That give him authority to execute judgment also. Why?
Because he is the Son of Man.
Go ahead.
Marvel not at this, for the hour is
Hold on. Back it up. Let me ask y'all a question, Judge. He said he's giving him authority to execute judgment because he's the Son of Man. According to our law, why would a Mashiach make this statement? That is true. But there's an exact thing that I'm looking for. One thing specific. He said he is giving judgment to the Son, right? He said, why? Because I am the Son of Adam, or the Son of Man. So according to our law, why would he make this statement?
Because Adam was given dominion of all things.
And that he was. But what we're looking at actually specifically is the 9th chapter of Genesis in the 6th verse, when he said, by man, whoever sheddeth man's blood, by man, his blood must be shed. Meaning that Elohim himself can't come shed the blood, a man got to come through. You see what I'm saying? I'll meet you as a man. I got to come through. Even though he's presently the son of Elohim, but he came and took on the form of a man. Because Elohim is a Ruach. He's not a man. He might have the image and likeness of what we would consider a man to look like, but he is not a man. He's Ruach. You know what I'm saying? You got the son of Elohim, he became a man, and then was made into the son of Elohim all over again. So upon his return, you have the form or image of what we would say is a man. Because by man blood got to be shed. Because when he come back, Revelation 19 and 11. Revelation 19 and 11. Let's just let the book talk. What we're going to do is, I'm going to wrap this particular topic up in a second. We're going to cut it short, and then we'll do the sermon with Genesis 9, with Ham, separate. Because these two things are not actually going to tie in.
And I saw heaven open, and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Yeah.
And in righteousness he does judge and make war.
In righteousness he do what?
He judge and make war.
He's giving me authority to execute judgment. You know what I'm saying? How do we sit back and know that? Because we looked at that last night. What did the judges do? They got the power to condemn and justify. You know what I'm saying? So now he done put the authority and power in the hand of the son. He got to put it in the hand of a man. Come on.
His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
Yes, sir.
And he had it.
All one.
You're right,
All
brother.
one.
You're right,
You don't
brother.
want to look close.
We agree with you, brother. And he had. He said we all in one. This year,
He's going off on this. Go ahead. Seems like everybody that walk off from him. Go
They be
on.
mad, boy. They be mad at you. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of Elohim.
Yep.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fire linen, white and clean.
Fine, man. Not violent. Come on.
Oh, I said fire.
You all right.
And out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations.
A short sword and he'll do what?
Smite the nations.
And what else?
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
Come on.
And he tread the winepress and the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Yahuwah.
All right. Almighty Elohim. Say how I read.
Almighty
I
Elohim.
know like this is. And I know y'all used to doing that, but if it don't have his name there, if they wanted his name there, they'll put it. You feel what I'm saying? Now, check this out, right? He said who remembers what we talking about, treading the wine press and the wrath of the mighty Elohim? Who remember what that goes to? Yeah. Remember he say that the righteous will truly wash their feet in the blood of the wicked to know that there's a reward. This is going back because he's giving me authority to execute judgment because I am the Son of Man. Come on back to the John chapter. I'm trying to work with the phone, dropping the 24%, but this nigga's a soldier though. Say, boy, why you out here with your mama throw rug on, boy?
Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, in the which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice.
Shall hear his voice.
And shall come forth, they that have done good,
And they that have done evil.
unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil, unto the resurrection of damnation.
So we looking at it, we come up to the resurrection of life, we will ascend and meet him in Shamayim, right? That's the objective, right? Because if you ascend up to meet him in Shamayim, all he said back telling you is you're going to ascend up to meet him and become eternal. Remember what Paul said, you'll be changed in a what? Twinkle of an eye. Twinkling of an eye. Change. You know what I'm saying? You don't realize it. Don't you realize when they were ascending up? Now you got to realize he's telling them to ascend up and take over Jericho. You think it's just about ascending up to take over a city? This is about ascending up to get a kingdom, to attain rulership, and to become like your Elohim. Let's finish this Proverbs 10 and 11. Read me Romans 5 and 5 though. That's what we ain't got there. Because we talking about that gift, right? That's that blood of the covenant. That's the gift. He say that free gift gonna lead to a lot of justification. Come on, sir.
And hope maketh not
But make it
ashamed.
verse 3 then. Because we need to hear all that. We're gonna run it down.
Not only so, but we esteem in tribulation.
We have seen tribulation. We appreciate it. Come on.
Knowing that tribulation works patience.
You know that when you go through trouble, it's gonna develop patience. Come on.
And patience experience.
So when you get that patience, you're going to get experience. And you know that those who are full age by reason of use, by reason of experience, that they can discern good and evil and make proper judgment. When you ain't had no tribulation, you ain't learned no patience, so you're not going to have no experience. Therefore, you're not going to be a full age. Therefore, you're not going to be able to judge properly. Come on.
And experience, hope.
And experience is going to cause you to trust your Elohim. Do you not realize, and two of those things that the weightier matters of the law are being mentioned? Because we looked at, all we got to do is look at Joseph. He went through tribulation, it developed in patience. Through that patience, he had hope. He had experience, and through that experience, he had hope. And y'all redeemed him. And he set him at the right hand of Pharaoh, and all answered at his hand, and he saved all the people from famine. Same way Hamashiach came and saved us from famine. But we were going through the wilderness saying we ain't got nothing to eat. So he rained the manna down from Shamahim. And we were walking through the wilderness saying we ain't got nothing to eat. He said, I'm the true bread that comes from Shamahim. He that eat my flesh and eat this bread will live forever. For my flesh is the bread of life. Come on, son.
And hope. Make up not ashamed.
And the faith in Mashiach, you are no man of be ashamed. Come on.
Because the love of Elohim is shed abroad in our hearts.
Don't y'all realize that the tribulation leads to the patience, which leads to the experience, which leads to the hope, which leads you not being ashamed, meaning the love of your Elohim will be shed into your mind. The endurance, the patience, the suffering, all because you know there's a reward. Come on.
By the Ruach HaKodesh,
yes, sir,
which is given unto us.
Go ahead.
For when we were yet without strength,
when we had no strength,
in due time, the Mashiach died for the ungodly.
Go ahead.
For scarcely for a righteous man will one die.
One die, come on.
Yet peradventure, for a good man, some would even dare to die.
Some would even dare to die. Come on.
But Elohim commended his love towards us.
He showed his love towards us how?
While we were yet sinners, the Mashiach died for us.
You sit back and look at it. Yahuwah Elohim, merciful, gracious. Right? Come on.
Much more then, being now justified by his blood.
Being justified by what?
His blood.
Blood of the covenant, right? The covenant gonna give you that, bring you out the pit where there is no water. Come on.
We shall be saved.
We shall be what?
Saved.
Be what?
Saved.
I redeemed you out the house of bondmen. Come on.
From wrath.
From what?
Wrath.
Come on.
Through him.
Through him. Go ahead.
For if when we were enemies, we were reconciled to Elohim.
Yes, sir.
By the death of his son.
By the death of his son.
Much more, being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life.
Go ahead.
And not only so, but we also joy in Elohim through our master, YAHUSHA, the Mashiach,
go ahead,
by whom we have now received the atonement.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned.
Go ahead.
Until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no Torah.
Go ahead.
Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Musha,
yes, sir,
even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression, who is the figure of him that was to come.
Go ahead.
But not as the offense.
Not as the offense. This is what we came here for.
So also is the free gift.
The free what?
Free gift.
What's that free gift, sir?
For if through the offense of one, many be dead, much more the favor of Elohim, and by the gift, by grace, which is by one man.
By what?
One man.
Who is that man?
YAHUSHA HaMashiach.
You realize Hamashiach is the free gift. But you realize his body and his blood is the favor and the grace. I mean, the favor and the mercifulness and the forgiving of transgression and iniquity. This is tying back to one key thing, how love covers all sins. If man love covers all sins. So when you turn around and look at it, if you love, you can cover up the sins of your brother when they trespass against you. You understand what I'm saying? Because this man, I'm telling you, this is going back to, he said he declared his name. He said, I came in my Father's name and you received me not. If another came in his own name, him you will receive. So you know when Mashiach came in his Father's name, he showed mercy and favor. He showed long suffering. He showed goodness and truth. He showed forgiving sin and iniquity. He showed that. So guess what that means? You got to turn around and as he is in this present world, so are you. Simple as that. Right or wrong? Then guess what we end up being? If he was declared to be the son of Elohim by power in the YAHUAH'S and the resurrection of the dead, then guess what we would be able to do? And we would have power with our Elohim thing, I wouldn't. Because we would be taking him on, which means we would take his mind on and forsake the mind of this world. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it's about. Take on the mind of your God, your power, your Elohim, your mighty one. That's what you got to do. You feel me? Come on, let's spin it in Proverbs 2. I think we show how the right mouth of the righteous is a well aligned. Because the mouth of the righteous don't keep the word in their mouth. The man's words are ruach and are life, right? He said the word that I speak of, they are ruach and they are life. That's what we sit back looking at. And you would seek the law out of man's mouth who possess it. Because these man's words is able to go give you life. It's going to subdue your flesh. And it's going to cause you to be strengthened in the inward man. So where the outward man perished day by day, but you made new in the inward man. The outward man perishes because you're putting off the works of sin, the works of darkness, and putting on the armor of life. Come on, sir.
The mouth of the righteous man, is a well of life.
Go ahead.
But violence covers the mouth of the
We ain't going to go read. He say violence cover the mouth of the wicked. The chief priest and scribe sat back and say, let's kill it. And Judah say, I'm with it. Come on.
hatred stir up strife.
You go out and they hate the man. They hated the man because of the strife. The hatred that they had for that man caused the strife and the contention they had to want to kill him. But what did the next thing say?
But love covers all sin.
All sin. 1 John 5 and 1. Somebody get me Matthew 13:47 and we'll click this in and then we'll work in hand, chapter, and shoot. I know y'all want to hear about that one. I've been holding to it. You know what I'm saying? 5 and 1. You know, my mind took us in a whole total different direction. I called for Genesis 9 to start with. But then, you know, y'all had other plans. But told y'all, it worked out regardless, though. Hopefully it helped somebody out. Come on, sir.
Whosoever believe that Yahusha the HaMashiach is born of Elohim.
Yes, sir.
And everyone that loves him, that beget love, him also that is begotten of him. By this we know that we love the children of Elohim.
When we do what?
When we love Elohim and keep his commandments.
Go ahead.
So this is the love of Elohim.
What is the love of Elohim?
That we keep his commandments.
And why is that?
And his commandments are not hard.
13 and 47. This man commandments ain't hard. Matthew 13:47.
Again, the kingdom of Shamayim is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered up every kind, which when it was full they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end. The angel shall come forth and serve the wicked from amongst the just.
Yep.
And shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Go ahead.
Yahusha said unto them, have you understood all these things? They said unto him, yes, master. Then he said unto them, every scribe which is instructed into the kingdom of Shamayim is like a man that is a householder, who bring forth out of his treasure things new and old.
Told Yah for Yahusha in the word. We're going to start over real quick. Like, when I got to hit this thing, cut this off.